Good. This is another discussion about reproductive health, and today's topic is going to discuss about the ovarian cycle. Very well, you understand that ovarian cycle plays a big role in the reproductive and making new human beings. So it's the basis of reproductive health. So if there is no ovarian cycle, then the process of reproduction can end there. Good. So the ovarian cycle is a core part of the human reproduction. During the ovarian cycle, follicles in the ovaries mature and releases one cyst per cycle in the uterine tubes. But not always one, because there are sometimes twins, but in average it is one, where they can be fertilized and eventually develop into the fetus. So what is the difference between a menstruation cycle and ovarian cycle? Now, the two cycles happened at the same time and influence each other, and they both prepare the body for pregnancy. So they are very important, and they play the part role concurrently, and they depend on each other. And also, they are influenced almost by the same hormones. The ovarian cycle is concerned with the ovary and the release of the oocyst, and the menstrual cycle is concerned with the uterine lining. So the menstrual cycle is concerned with preparing the implantation of fertilized oocyst, whereas the ovarian cycle is concerned about maturation and release of ovaries. So ovaries create oocyst, which are female gametes, and they also produced other functions of the ovaries. Also, is production of the progesterone and estrogen. So they also play a role of endocrine part of it. So the uterine, on the other hand, is where the zygote or fertilized oocyst implant and develops. And the other term for uterus is the womb. So in this, you can see that that is a pelvic cavity. You can see the pelvic bones, which are very strong because they protect something which is very delicate. That means they protect the beginning of life, the house where life begins. The white arrow can point to the uterus, whereas the red arrow points to the ovaries. You can see the bones which protect that house where the life begins. So the ovarian cycle. The ovarian cycle occurs in three phases. The first cycle is the follicular phase. This is where the follicles mature. The second phase is ovulation. This is where the cyst is released in the uterine. And the third phase is the luteal phase where the corpus luteum is formed. So let us see oocyst, primordial, and primordial follicles. Oocysts first form during the fetal development when the stem cells undergo mitosis, creating a primary oocyst, which then begin meiosis. Until puberty, then this primary oocyst remain the proper stage of the meiosis one. During the febrile puberty, the primary oocysts form primordial follicles, which develop into primary follicles that contain a primary oocyst. So some primary oocysts complete a meiosis one to become a secondary oocyst, which are 23 microsomes and chromosomes cells that begin but do not complete meiosis two. If the second oocyst is fertilized, it completes meiosis and can develop into a zygote. So primordial, primary, and secondary follicles. Primordial follicles are home to primary oocyst. The primordial follicles is stimulated by follicle-stimulating hormone, developing into a primary follicle. During the follicular phase, one primary follicle develops into a secondary follicle, which is larger. In that photo, you can see the larger follicle, which is big, surrounded, and then there is another one which is forming there. After this one is linked to the fallopian tube, this one now start forming for the second cycle. So let's see what is vascular follicles. A few days before ovulation, the secondary follicle develops into a vascular follicle. Inside a vascular follicle, there is a cavity called atrium. Atrium, that is with the follicle fluid that contains hormones, enzymes, electrolyte, and anticoagulant. The atrium surrounds the second oocyst. During ovulation, the follicle ruptures and releases the secondary oocyst into one of the uterine tubes called the fallopian tube. So you can see the oocyst enters the uterine tube very comfortably. It's entering there. The one is the mouth of the fallopian tube. So let us see around the what is around the follicles. Each follicle is surrounded by a layer of granulosa cells which support the oocyst and help produce estrogen and progesterone. After menstruation, but before ovulation, the follicle stimulate hormones from the anterior pituitary gland, stimulate the granulosa cells to convert androgen to estrogen. That increase of estrogen triggers the anterior pituitary to release luteinizing hormone, which causes follicle rupture and releases oocyst. So you can see that there are of luteinizing hormone in this cycle. So you can see that one is there's a cell which are surrounding, and then the atrium which contains fluids, electrolytes, enzymes, and also hormones. You can see the granulosa cells. So after ovulation, granulosa cells and the desert cells become part of the corpus luteum more than soon. Desert cells surround the follicles and then discrete androgen that the granulosa cells can turn into estrogen. The zonal periodicity forms a follicle developed from primary to secondary. It's a layer of glycoproteins between the oocyst and the granulosa cells that help ensure the health of the follicle and oocyst as they develop. Glycoproteins, they come through the communication between outside the cells, inside the cells. There's glycoprotein 2B and glycoprotein 3A. The corpus luteum. The corpus luteum develops after ovulation and is what is left of the follicle that this is the oocyst. It produces estrogen and a lot of progesterone. If the eggs become fertilized, the corpus luteum will release progesterone for about 12 weeks. Then the placenta creates the progesterone and the corpus luteum is broken down. If the oocyst is fertilized, the breakdown progresses called electrolysis begins about the 10 days after ovulation. After electrolysis, fibroblast create the corpus luteum and a scar-like structure is formed. So you can see this one is the development of corpus. Then there's corpus luteum, there's corpus albicans, which has a scar. You can see a very good blood supply around that area is well nourished. So in conclusion, you can see that the ovaries create oocyst during the ovarian cycle, follicles in the ovaries mature and rupture. They release oocyst into the uterine tubes in a process called ovulation. After ovulation, the remainder of the follicles breaks down into the corpus luteum, which then forms the corpus albicans. Then the cycle starts all over again. Thank you listening to this part of ovarian cyst. This is part of reproduction, the beginning of the production a series of these lectures. Thank you very much for listening to this. Thank you very much.